guys, and welcome back to the Defiant Ones Teen Podcast. I hope you're doing amazing today. I mean, it's a blessing to be just awake, to be alive. Any day above Earth is a great day. That's how I like to look at it. We still have us. We have success, great inspiration, and a great story to share today. But before we get into that, I want to let you guys know, if you're new here, who we are. So we are the Defiant Ones Teen Podcast. It is based off of the Defiant Ones Teen Magazine, which is a magazine created by me and my brother that is for teens by teens. Our magazine talks about things like entertainment, fashion, sports, news, trends, all these things that other magazines do. But what makes us different is we're coming from a youth's perspective, and we're talking about things that schools aren't teaching us, like creating businesses, becoming leaders, things to do after high school, mental and physical health and wellness, sex trafficking, bullying, all these important topics and factors in life that we all should know about. That's who we are. And this podcast takes that even a step further, because our magazine targets teens and young adults. But in this podcast, we're speaking to youth, teens, and adults who are sharing their incredible stories and just advice that'll help us grow and thrive and succeed in life. So I'm excited you guys are here. Welcome. We have a super amazing guest with us today, Mr. Craige Hardel. He is, did I pronounce that right? Hold up, you're muted. All right. That's how you pronounce it, Craige Hardel?
Yes, Craige. You have it just about right.
Craige. Oh, that's the accent. I like it. So he is a certified success coach, educator, and businessman. So, Craige, can you tell us a little bit more about yourself? Anything I missed?
You just about have it. I'm a certified success coach, and I help professionals really level up in life and really tackle the things that they're all scared to. We have the things that we want, the things that we kind of believe that we could reach, and what we really want but we're scared to go towards. So basically, in a nutshell, I am a coach who helps people get to their next level. And notice the emphasis on their, because they're all different. And in the past, I used to do digital marketing, so I do have a background there as well.
Awesome. Can you tell the people your age and where you're from? Because that accent is really nice.
Yeah. I'm 25 years old, and I'm from the lovely island of St. Lucia in the Caribbean. For those of you who may not know where that is. And it's really interesting on that question, really interesting being there and seeing just everything that's going on. And
yeah.
It's really a pleasure to be here actually as well.
Yeah, absolutely. During this whole time of crisis and panic, it's good to just be able to even have the time to do what we want in life and to create, success and to breed who we want to be in our lives. And to just even have little opportunities like this. So let me ask, how are you actually dealing with that whole coronavirus thing? Do you think it's wise for them to be opening up states right now?
That's a good question, because there are many layers to it. One, personally, but it's me or anybody else listening. And to your second question, I guess the states will open up or have to open up at some time.
Yeah.
I mean, if you watch the news or you're really observant as to what's going on, it may be debatable as to whether it's time to actually do it. But personally, on my end, for me, it's all about containment and really accepting that I and anybody else listening have a role to play, not just to myself, but to others around you. And whether you're a parent, whether you're a teacher, whether you're whatever leadership position that you hold, you have to remember that those individuals are looking up at you as well. So for me, it's about really tapping into that part of me and ensuring that I do not let the events, the news, all the happenings overwhelm me. So basically, that's how I'm coping with it. It's not terrible where I live. And we had some confirmed cases, but now they're all healed. And again, you never know what's around. But generally, things seem to be pretty stable, hopefully towards the path of recovery. But more importantly, for anybody listening, it's all about containing you first, because you can't help anybody else before you help yourself. Moreover, really, it's about putting it all in perspective. So for me, it's not being too overreactive, and also making sure that you are tuned to how serious things are and respond accordingly.
Absolutely. And I think one of the most important elements is I find it really neat. I say it's our mindset over anything. So if we're actually coming out of this where we're going to be successful and we're going to come out fine, and if we're keeping ourselves mentally stable, then we're going to be okay. You know, it's a lot of panic and bad things, but we still have the power to be embraced of happiness and success. So
Yeah.
I definitely think you have a good point on there. So we're going to start with when you were 21, you
Mhm.
hosted an educational talk show. What was
Mhm.
that called, and what did it talk about?
Well, it was called Youth on the Rise, and generally I helped young millennials, especially, and adults, similar to your audience.
Hmm.
I really discussed many pertinent issues in their lives and really helping them navigate those issues. And generally, it was a national audience, and weekly we really delve into those various issues because, as you know, there are many pertinent issues that affect all of us. And whether it's marijuana and the legalization and whatnot, whether it's teenage pregnancy. Again, I remember at the time we tackled things that were not always comfortable and not the humdrum. So
Yeah,
generally, that's what it was about: helping young adults and also adults as well. A lot of it is applicable to many people navigate those issues on their own and really move through life better, especially if they're currently going through it.
absolutely. So was there a person or experience in your life that made you want to become an educator?
That's a good question. Um, I would say it's really just going through a lot of adversity
Mm,
and being an educator at the time and just seeing many people who have so much potential not really follow through for various reasons, of course. A lot of it is environmental, a lot of it is just they not having the right guidance and direction.
yeah,
So that befalls a lot of young people. And it's sad because, you know, there's this adage that goes like this: the richest place is in the graveyard. In other words, there are so many people who could have done so many things, solved so many problems we have today or in the past, but they never got to do it. And it's unfortunate that most people, whether they're young or older, they really do not do the things that they really want to do, or they really do not pursue the dreams, the yearnings that they've had, especially
yeah.
professionally. So really, that's what inspired me to become an educator and really to pursue that path, even as a coach currently.
Good. And I know that a lot of people just need that push in life. They need that one person, or they need that one opportunity to really, go after it and go after their dreams, to be professional and to do what they want to do with their lives. So I think I want to salute you for that, because, you're impacting so many lives and you're making people great. So thank you for that. A lot of people need an influence like that. So after a few years of that, you started to move into entrepreneurship, freelance web designing, and social media managing. Is that a
Mhm.
hard task? And what are the benefits?
Well, moving into any new profession is challenging,
That's
first and
true.
foremost.
That's true.
And with any new profession, you have to ensure that you're good at it. It's not about simply having services available, but can you really deliver when you're paid?
Yeah.
Right. So a lot of the difficulties, one is in upskilling. Thankfully, there's lots of information available online. You have some courses, but generally anyone with the desire and at least internet access can really get their skills up to scratch if they're really diligent about it. So yes, it took a little trading. I did take some excellent courses as well. But but the point is you still have to put in the effort. It doesn't matter how much the program, or even if you didn't get a program, or maybe you cannot even afford it currently, for example, it's still possible.
Yeah.
So no matter what you do, what you invest in, just know that you still have to put the effort because that is what really gets you there. Secondly, on that, you have to really make sure that you're doing for the right reasons because if you're not doing for the right reasons, it'll be harder than if you are, because there will be difficult parts, ups and downs. For example, getting clients. Okay, many people struggle with that despite having the skill set. And the reason it's important that you not just passion, but you have an ardent desire to master it, like to become better, is that things will get hard. And that is when your resolve will get tested. But as you get better, as you get more stripes, as they say, it gets easier and it gets more pleasurable because you're becoming more competent. So generally that was the experience for me. It
Mm-hmm.
wasn't perfect, but really it took a lot of time, and it would be the case for anybody. And even if it didn't, the time really comes in just your mastering of the material and how well you deliver.
Yep, absolutely. So why do you think that social media and technology is so important in today's society?
We're all online, and we all need to get noticed. Gone are the days where businesses could only have a good product or a good service even, and they could only stay in their stores or in their malls, wherever they're located. That's fine, but you need attention. People have to know you. And the explosion of choices online and the conveniences of services like Amazon and the others have really created too much of a competitive landscape where you have to do similar, not just to match them, but to really gain your own attention.
Yeah,
Because even if you're good, like I just said, people have short memories. Attention spans are going down every single year as technologies become more addicting. People just don't have the time. So it's not a matter of just existing, but really getting online. So that's why social media is important. Social media marketing, especially for businesses, for brands, for companies, different kinds of companies. And really, it's about getting that relationship with your customers. So if you do social media for a living, or you web design, or you do any kind of work online, you're needed because many businesses have a tough time making that transition. And also, it's just harder and it's not enough. The main reason it's not enough to just have a good product. You have to be able to reach people, to reach the best people for your product or service or even your brand.
absolutely. Great answer, man. You're killing it. So the next thing that you did, um, after all that, was you became a certified success coach to help others achieve their goals and reach their full potential. Can you tell us why you decided to do that, and how does it make you feel knowing that you're impacting so many lives for the better?
Mhm. That's a wonderful question once more. Before I even delve into this, let me take like 40 seconds to give some slight backstory.
Yeah,
Um, just to really, if you're listening, show you that success isn't always a straight line. And sometimes when we go for tough situations, we're unique as individuals, unique DNA. We have something special about all of us. But generally, a lot of our circumstances are not that different. Okay, a lot of generally the obstacles that we go through. So for me, really, I used to teach and living there. It wasn't always smooth sailing when I left. And then eventually things really improved there. I had lots of arduous circumstances, and really that taught me a lot. So generally, it wasn't just a matter of me going into coaching. And even when I did a lot of marketing, things went okay. But for me, and leading into your question, with marketing, I mean, it's nice helping businesses, but for me, especially with my show that I did before,
yeah,
I still wanted to help people. And with my programs on my website and just coaching, for me, people need help. And it's not just about being altruistic, but generally, it's more fulfilling personally, helping people see what they could not see in themselves that was always there. You
absolutely.
know, and the thing about social media again is that subconsciously it causes us to compare ourselves to others, while the real people we're supposed to be comparing ourselves to is us. Okay, and through such attention being so far in one direction for most people, and they're not even being conscious about it, many people lose sight of what they want in life, why they want it, where they want to go,
Yeah,
why are they unique. So generally with coaching, getting in there is helping other people get that in them. Some people may have lost it being older, or even as you're young and you're contemplating many serious decisions, college, going to the work world, you know, mortgage, house, many other of those small decisions, or maybe you're in the throes of a conflict with any one of these and any I didn't mention. Sometimes we need help seeing better. We need help being better. None of us are perfect. I am not perfect as well. But for me, the coaching is about helping people really move up. And in this social economy, we're becoming disconnected by the day. As technology gets better, we connect with others a lot less and also with ourselves. So as a
Mm-hmm.
coach, really it's helping people get that personally and also helping them go where they want to go, where they've been dreaming of going. Because there is so much fear, so much suppression, whether it's on the inside, environment, or just society, that most people have so many big things that they want to do, but they never even try. Or even those that do, yes, it's normal to have a bit of a depression, but most people just end up falling by the wayside. So generally, that's kind of why I got into it
Mm-hmm.
specifically. And also it's really, you know, a bit of what really drives me, because I remember not having a lot of that support, and that is something that would have accelerated my progress tremendously.
Yeah. And I'm trying to become a motivational speaker. That I've actually found. I'm hoping that you have too. That helping people actually helps me more. It helps me. It's like giving is getting. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, completely, because you're only capable of helping someone to the degree that you could help yourself.
Yeah.
That's a good thing about it, and that is why also you have to be in there for the right reasons, because it's going to show. You may be skilled technically, but there will be a lack of congruency with those you're trying to work with, and it will show. So my point is, yeah, you're completely correct, and that is, for me, that is the main challenge, because as long as you one who wants to be better, again, none of us are perfect. So if for some reason you're lacking, it's okay as long as you want to move forward. But generally, it does really help, and helping others, seeing the stories, it builds your own resolve. So congratulations on that, and it is a journey worth taking.
Awesome. Thank you so much. So, is this what you imagined you'd be doing? Growing up and in high school.
When I was younger, I remember wanting to be a scientist, and
Hmm.
I didn't quite become a scientist. But upon reflection, I don't think it's because that dream died. It was very possible, but I think I had a slight shift.
Yeah.
And for me, the drive for that came from the drive to wanting to innovate. And in many sense of the word, I still am today, but now helping people, whether it's for my courses on my website or whether it's with coaching currently, really for me, it speaks to me. Kind of was on a career path before, and I could have easily just stayed there,
Hmm.
and for some, it might be quite a bit of a turnaround to go through the transition to really do in many ways what you want to do, not just coaching, but helping people and generally forming a career out of that. Whether it's speaking, I do speak as well, and I'm enrolled in several programs. So my point is generally, yes, um, I wanted to be a scientist younger, but more broadly, I wanted to help people. And really, I'm glad, as much as it didn't come easy, it certainly doesn't always. And that's a good lesson for others in retrospect. But I still am doing what I want to do.
Yeah, absolutely. And we all have to go through those challenges to come up. But I know those challenges can be, really hard to go through. So if there was an opportunity for you to go back and do things different, would you?
Some things, yes, but more broadly, no. And it's funny you ask this question because currently I'm actually going through a immersion program, and even as a coach, we get extra training. And what I'm saying is that when you look at your past self more objectively, it's only in retrospect you see the lessons. So when you're going through something, it's easy to sound motivational, to say nice things, but it doesn't feel good. And
Yeah.
that's the only thing that your brain really recognizes. So yes, maybe something, but generally no. A lot of the things I've had, adversities, I find they've really made me experientially and also taught me a lot of lessons that I could relate to others really going through that journey. I remember speaking to a young man at 23 years old, for example, and he was going through a very tough time,
Yeah.
leaving home, for example, and really just that transition. And I mean, generally, I work with people a lot older as well, and they're really well impacted. And the reason I'm mentioning those two examples is to demonstrate that in life, we go through many different transitions,
Yep.
and it's helpful having someone guide you. And you really gain the ability to do that when you've gone through a lot. Again, you call it turning your mess into your message. And you need to learn to not let all the bad things that happen, because we all have things that we're not proud of, right? We
Hmm.
all have things we're not proud of, or people around us did, and just our association to them, it doesn't feel very good, doesn't bring up good emotions, memories.
Yeah.
So in retrospect, helping others, being able to guide others to navigate their lives better, for me, it's really, really worth it. And yeah.
That's great. And I heard you say something in there. You said turn your mess into your message. That's an awesome statement. So would you say that the bad times that you go through can actually be turned positive?
Yes. And it doesn't always make them better, but who you become is more important generally than the things that you could just accumulate. Because, for example, money comes and it may go,
Yep.
right? But experiences are who make you, right? Experiences are what really allows you, that makes you valuable. Okay. Now I know this might sound a bit broad, but generally, whether it's your experiences or the experiences of others, it gives you extra perspective, and that really helps with your decision making.
Hmm.
And generally, for example, in one's 20s, many people end up making the wrong decisions, and it may seem emotionally right, but it helps you take a more long-term game. And you always must think of, if you're listening and you're contemplating a major decision, not just how I feel today, but what does myself 5 years from now, 10 years from now, and I know especially in your 20s,
Hmm.
especially the listeners here, sometimes you don't care about that, right? And but sometimes taking the long-term view and really seeing who the best version of me would potentially be in the long run. So yes.
Nice. So, Craige, do you have any other talents, hobbies, or passions?
Well, yes, I do. Um, I love I love soccer,
Mm.
and generally, I mean, yeah, I love soccer. For those of you who follow soccer, I love Chelsea,
You played it when
and
you was younger? Did you play? Did you play?
yes, yes, but not for too long.
Mm.
Yeah, I did play, but not for too long. But yeah, I'm quite a soccer buff, as they say, and I do lots of documentaries. I watch a lot of documentaries. I've done lots of volunteerism as well.
Mm.
And on that note, just especially when you're younger, in your younger years, having so much extra time, a lot of times, even if you're in college, serving others, volunteerism is a really good path to go because it teaches you so much. Think of experience in a job. Most people struggle to get work, but if they were to be part of an organization and give their time or some hours, some community hours, it really adds to them in ways that they cannot predict in advance. But generally, I've done a lot of voluntary work, and there are other things that I love. But I mean, I love soccer, and my spare time, I look at quite a bit of documentaries. There is a lot to learn. There is a lot of life to really understand. And for me, sometimes you have to go outside of yourself.
Yeah.
So, in a nutshell, that would be some of the other things that I do.
That's great. And I know it takes a strong mindset and a strong personality to do what you do. So I'm gonna share something a little embarrassing. One of the things I like to do is I love listening to Disney music. If you ever see me doing the yard or doing dishes, whatever, I'll have headphones in, just like listening to Let It Go or Let It Shine, any of that stuff. Yeah. So I'm with you on that. So Craige, what is your ultimate dream in life?
My ultimate dream is to help at least 1 million people
Mm.
get to their next level, whatever that is for them,
At
and
least 1 million.
to help them realize their potential and not give up on themselves. Most people, well, a lot of people for that matter, always have a seemingly rational reason why something cannot be done, why they
Yeah.
cannot go back to school, why they cannot pursue their studies, why they cannot start that business that they've always wanted.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not a matter of simply saying that, but it's really having the self-responsibility to find out how. Because if your mindset isn't aligned, you don't care how. And even if I present you or you present anybody else, Christian, with an opportunity, they wouldn't be open to it. So really, for me, it's about empowering people, and it's about helping the ambitious, those who really have the drive, they want to move forward, helping as many of them directly with my coaching program as well, and helping them to really move forward. Because I could tell you, because I'm coach as well, right, that there is nothing like having someone cheering you on, helping you when you
Yeah.
fall, keeping you accountable, okay? And whatever form you choose to do it. So for me, I want to be that for someone, because in many ways, I understand how debilitating life could be, how bad things could get. And in many respects, especially the current pandemic,
Mm.
really demonstrates that, no one is above bad fortune. They say good things happen to bad people too.
Yeah.
And you have to respect that, respect the process, respect life. Moreover, you have to really respect your process and your journey. It means something. You know, a year ago, no one would, if you would predict or attempt to predict that, there will be a major event and we'll be all be in, and there will be no work, right, for a lot of people.
Yeah.
There would be no, businesses or alcohol wouldn't be sold in, if that's the case in your country. People would say you're crazy,
Yeah.
right? But it's happening right now,
Mm-hmm.
So the point is, you never know what directions life is going to shift, and who knows, next year something else is going to happen. Maybe the internet goes out and there is a bug that just takes off the internet. No one can put it off. I mean, I'm being hypothetical, but my point is, you can never really control life.
Yeah.
So your success, you have to take it seriously, whatever that looks like for you. Or when I say your success, a lot of times that's associated with monetary gain. And obviously, in a sense, it does parallel, but it's in other areas of your life as well: relationships, family, spouse, spiritually, if you're religious or not, getting closer to your creator, whatever your religion, other areas of life. And we all have a next level.
Mm.
And especially if you're young and you have so much energy, and you may even have detractors, right? You may have the haters, as is commonly said. You have to respect your own journey and understand that no matter how what you think you may not have, that is unique, and that you should not waste time. Okay, so yeah, it really is important. And generally, if everything that's going on, um, you really need to put that in perspective, because you never know what's going to happen, and none of us has forever, even if you're young,
Mm-hmm.
right? Yeah.
Absolutely. That's an amazing dream, and that's so incredible, man. That's so incredible. So obviously, it takes a big part of you to have such a big dream like that and such amazing advice. Who would you say, or what is your biggest inspiration?
Oh, I have so many, to be honest. And I must admit, I mean, I've been helped by so many people.
Mm.
And one thing that comes to mind, even as you ask this, is that when you're willing to go outside of your comfort zone, you may get help, because others, even if like you don't see a path, let's say you really want to get something, you just cannot afford it. That's a
Yeah.
big problem for a lot of people, right? If you put yourself out there, if you try your best, right? I remember when I just started, I had somebody close at that time send me some material, right? Or give me access to some material. And that may not happen for everybody. And now I don't really need it as much. But what I'm saying is that sometimes the people that inspire and help you don't always come immediately. So
Yeah.
for me, I mean, I could think of so many names. I could think of so many thought leaders. I mean, people like Evan Pagan, especially with coaching. Um, my previous mentor, you may not know him, although he's pretty wealthy and famous now. Imran Tariq. I mean, I could name a lot of people, to be honest. I
Mm-hmm.
could name a lot of, but the point is, generally, I've been helped. I've been helped, and when I mean, there's a saying that says, if the student is ready, the teacher will show up. I mean, there are lots of teachers out there, but the biggest thing is if you're committed and if you're listening, whatever you want, wherever you want to go. Maybe you want to make the baseball team or the soccer team, or you want to get into the varsity team.
Mm-hmm.
You have to really want it because a lot of people want it too.
Yep.
And the fact that you want it doesn't make you special. I know that sounds harsh, but it's the truth.
Yeah.
So, and the fact that you have dreams, as nice as that sounds, they're not owed to you. So it's your responsibility to really find out the how. Okay. Yes, you could be supported with coaching or any other form of support, but the commitment is important. It's not just the right teachers. And yeah, so for me, it's been more about that. It's been more about really finding the how. A lot of times, a lot of things didn't really come through. And you really have to have the commitment because only when you have the commitment, not to repeat it one too many times, it's like your eyes will be opened and then the
Mm-hmm.
possibilities will actually begin to show up. So generally, I've had lots of inspirations, and really, it's only when I've really, really decided to push myself and just not be afraid of failing. I mean, the fear is there to some extent, but when you want something to the extent that it doesn't even matter because our time on the planet will come to an end.
Yeah.
When you really go after things with that level of tenacity, you normally get a solution, no matter what your present looks like.
Very wise. Very wise. So as we in the near, oh my gosh, as we near the end here, how can
Mhm.
people find, contact, and book you?
Okay. Well, generally, for those who committed, like I just mentioned, I offer a free coaching call to really help understand really where you want to go, help give you some clarity, and potentially see if it's possible or if it's a fit or if it makes sense to have me guide you and help you. And also, I really help others with my program. But here, my website is CraigeHardel.com. And for the listeners here, I will have all the links on CraigeHardel.com/defiant So all the resources mentioned will be put on there. So you could simply get there. That link will be in the show notes and access everything. So generally, it's CraigeHardel.com to book a session
Mm,
slash breakthrough session if you're listening, if you're inspired, if you don't believe that you deserve success for whatever reason. Maybe your environment, maybe something bad has happened before, or maybe you're just pushing, you just can't see a way. I promise you there is a way, you
mm-hmm.
know? And if you're that person and you just need the extra nudge, need the extra help, support, have a look and then book some time with me. The spots are going, but I have to stress this because I really want to help, but I really want to help those, more importantly, who want to help themselves. So again, CraigeHardel.com/breakthrough session. And also currently I'm offering a free program as well. It will be CraigeHardel.com/bounce back fast, especially this pandemic, especially with just life. And those who really want to move forward, but for some reason they can't. I'm removing all the excuses and I'm giving a free program as well. So it'll be Craige.com/breakthrough session, just to summarize. And also Craige.com/bounce back fast. Links will be in the description, wherever it is that you listen.
Absolutely. Go check them out. That's amazing. I think this is the perfect time to do that, to,
Yeah.
be the best you. That's so awesome. So, Craige, as we near the end here, oh my God, I keep doing that. What advice would you give to
Mhm.
someone who wants to be like you, uh, who wants to do like you, and or for themselves, and to help
Mhm.
others better their lives?
The first thing I would say is it's nice to idolize certain people, but you shouldn't always be trying to be like them. And that might sound counterintuitive, but you need to see what in others that you like in you. I know social media and with pedestalizing on stage and all these authority figures, it's tempting to begin to compare ourselves to people. But generally, if you really want to have the role of helping others, or generally you just want to move up in life, I mean, we all want to progress wherever you are right now. You have to really get clear as to what you want and why you want it.
Yeah.
Why you want it, because sometimes you may have varying circumstances and that why will get tested, or you may have to pivot, but you need that motivation. You need that deep why, and not just, walking on fire motivation to really walk across the line. So my first piece of advice would be that, get clear on what you want. It may sound simple, and let me caution you listening or watching against rule out what you don't try. I mean, I've done that before and I've regretted it. So again, being clear as to what you want, where you want to go, try to paint that picture as clearly as you want. Some people use vision boards, journaling, whatever your jam, whatever your favorite thing to do.
Mm-hmm.
Try to get clear as to what that looks like for you. And more importantly, try to get in touch with why. The second thing is that people need to learn to be resourceful. And I say this from two contexts. One, for those who cannot afford, because that's a common objection from a lot of them, and I will address that in advance. Yes, sometimes you may be in a spot in life where you can't afford something. For example, coaching. And that's okay. It's not the end of the world. However, you need to ask yourself whether you can't afford, what can you afford to be where you are right now, or to move in the trajectory that you are right now? So that's not for coaching only, but for any other thing that you do and for where you want to go. So really reflecting on that question really helps you get in touch with why you want what you want. So it's not a matter of not having, for example, funds. It's how resourceful are you willing to be? My resources is not just about getting funds, but how could you get what you want? And being resourceful takes you out of the mindset of blaming people. We all make excuses, and I have a very long blog post on that. I may link it as well. And we have to get in touch or tap into what our own excuses are and try as much as possible to let go of them. So again, 3 pieces of advice. 1, get on what you want in life, not what others think that you want. Again, external conditioning, pressures elsewhere in all directions, sometimes may just delude us, and sometimes we need to take some time alone. So get on what you want, get on why you want it. And your why is only your why, only for you. Okay? And thirdly, make sure that you really get clear on not just where you want to go, but really how, no matter what, can you get there? And if you start from the standpoint of I can't, you won't get anywhere, or your mind will invent a reason. But if you start with the standpoint of how can I, right, blank, your mindset is a much better direction. So again, if you need help with this, you know where to go. But moreover, the most important thing is that you're committed, like I've said previously, and that you really want to grow, you really want to improve. Because saying it lip service ain't gonna do it, right? We all could talk, we all could, that's nice and good, but at the end of the day, it's the action that counts.
Yep.
And when you're really ready, you're really committed, you're really trying your best, more solutions, more opportunities will appear. And it's only then that you'll move forward. So generally, that would be the advice that I would have for those listening.
Absolutely. That was amazing advice. And this whole episode, you really just covered the top of it. I mean, you have such amazing expertise and knowledge to share. Thank you so much, Craige. This has been such a pleasure. So the last thing that I want to have you do is, can you say who you are, what you do, and end it with an I am defiant?
Can you repeat the last sentence?
You're going to say who you are, what you do, and end it with and I am defiant.
Okay. Well, I'm Craige Hardel, and I am a certified success coach. And is it I am defiant?
That is it. Mm-hmm.
Right. I am defiant to any forces that tell me and those whom I help and influence that they cannot have what they want in life.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Thank you guys so much for listening in here with us on the Defiant Ones Teen podcast. If you like the stories we're sharing and the content we have, please like, share, and subscribe to the podcast. We are available not only now on audio, on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Anchor, all that stuff, but now we're available video-wise on YouTube, Facebook Live, and many other platforms. There's going to be a link at the bottom of the description for you to leave a review or a donation if you like. Please follow us on all social media at Defiant Ones Mag. You can find me, your host, Christian Kindafy Robinson, on Instagram and Facebook at Kindafy, Kindafye. And you can follow our magazine and podcast website, DefiantOnesMag.com. We have just released a new magazine on April 15th with Jackson Dollinger on our cover. Our next magazine will be coming out on May 23rd, and our next episode will be coming out Thursday, April 30th. This was amazing. I mean, I had such a good time, and I learned so much. Thank you so much, Craige. This has been amazing. Thank you, man.
It's a pleasure to be on.
Pleasure talking to you, man. All right, I'll talk to you later. Peace.
All right.